Well, I just couldn't be more happy to kind of be with a guy that I've known a long time, and it's kind of watched him grow as a coach and Huntsville native. But pleased to welcome in none other than the Green Wave Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall. John, first of all, man, thanks for taking some time out of a busy week. I know you're on a bye, but getting ready to head to San Antonio to take on UTSA. It's a lot going on, but man, what a game last week at home. I know the ending was dramatic, but for you and this staff and this team, walk us through just what this ride has been like, kind of culminating thus far with your sixth win of the year against Army.
Yeah, it's been exciting. This team has made their decision that they're going to make every game as interesting and down to the wire as possible, I think. Our first game was probably our most convincing win, 23-3 versus Northwestern, which now looks like a better win than probably it did at the time. Ever since then, other than a convincing loss to Ole Miss, every other game I feel like it's been like a one-score game or a tight game, all the way across the board. We've got 60 new players on our roster out of 116 guys, so it's a very different team. We've got a whopping 5 returning starters from last year's team, and so a very unique group that I really like the talent. We still haven't played our best. It's quite like I got asked earlier today, grade your team's performance up to this point. And I'm like, well, I'd give it a C plus. And they're like, a C plus. I'm like, yeah, we're passing. Like we're winning each week for the most part. We're not excelling yet. Like we're playing good football and finding ways to win at times, but we're not playing complete football for the entirety of a game. And so, man, great teams find a way to win no matter what. But championship teams have to start clicking a little bit better than we're clicking, and we gotta make some things happen from an improvement standpoint to be our best because we're going to need that down the stretch.
Coach, the one thing that I think just a casual football fan or a sicko like myself that watches everything, you think about the service academies and you think about kind of when we were growing up, the armies and navies, air force, it was kind of one thing that they did well, right? You're running the football, it's chopping you down and whole nine. It was really interesting to watch Army and their evolution under an amazing coach there, to kind of watch and kind of, it's a lot to try to account for. Walk us through how difficult it was with this opponent relative to the rest of your kind of, as we like to say, traditional opponents with so many variations of things they do offensively and the looks they give you.
Yeah, it's unique for sure. You don't see it very often. I've been a head coach for 4 years now. We've played Army every year. Uh, I would be okay if I never played them again. We're 3-1 against them, but every game you just feel like it's going to be a rock fight. It's hard, it's challenging. Even the 3 that we've won, none of them have been easy. They're always gritty and tough wins. Coach Munkin does a great job. He's a dear friend of mine. He's somebody I've gotten close to in the profession. Have a ton of respect for him as a football coach and as a man. And what from a coaching perspective, we all we do is watch ball and tape and prepare and scheme, right? Like we do that all the time. It's not as challenging for our staff. Where it's challenging is your players. Like coach, it doesn't matter what we know; it's what our players know that matters. And so, our players being capable of maybe flipping their vision lines in the second and third level of the defense to understand, okay, the under center triple option or maybe the under center run game they present, and then the pass concepts they come off with. That scares me as much as anything. They're a team that runs the ball 85% of the time, but about half of their explosive plays are throws. And so they kind of lull you to sleep and they run like a scissors vertical concept off of something. And you're like, somebody gets lost. And so it's a challenge. Everybody has to do their job. Everybody has to be disciplined and detailed. The biggest part of it, too, for us has been over the years making sure, all right, first contact happens on a run play. Now it's all 11 hats to the ball to knock the ball carrier back because they get a lot of leaky yardage where first contact may happen at 2 or 3 yards, but the guy gains 5 or 6. And then for them, 3rd and 1 is 2nd and 1. That like they're going for on 4th down from their -30. They don't care if it's 4th and 1. And so you've got to win on early downs to try to get them behind the chains. And then it gets those teams, if you can create a 3 and out or get a 4th down stop, that's like a turnover. That's like forcing a fumble because they're used to controlling the flow of the game, milking the clock, and kind of playing on schedule, if you will.
I know it's very easy for us to kind of look at the quarterback position, and Jake's been awesome. And but man, you've got a lot of guys doing a lot of really cool things on both sides of the football. 23-0 been outstanding. You know, you have some moments with 78 there at right. Man, they've been great. And then 29-4, and everybody, you just got to be really excited about just as you've not played your best yet, the evolution and the growth of those guys on both sides of the football, and kind of really with Jake, everything around him that's continued to kind of continue to develop, right?
Yeah, what's been cool is different guys have stepped up at different moments. 2 weeks ago against East Carolina, we won 26-19 on a Thursday night TV game. We had 12 different pass catchers in the game. Like, but that's the most in college football by a single team in one game all year. And so there's a lot of guys involved offensively, and that's neat to see. There's a lot of guys involved defensively too, making plays. There's clearly maybe guys that are the guys that step up and make the most plays. Like on defense, you mentioned 29 Santana Hopper. Everybody we play, they're like, whoa, that dude's a problem. Like he is. He's a really good football player and he's disruptive and creates havoc plays. There's other great players on our front, though. They're making great plays. And so I don't know, like at receiver, too, what I'd tell you is we maybe don't have one guy like we had last year in Mario Williams where you're going to throw him the ball 10 times a game. But we got a lot of guys that could become the leading receiver any given game, depending on the flow of the game and their opportunities. And so I like the fact that I think we've got a deep team. Going into the year, Maurice Turner was our clear number one back. He got hurt in game one and was out for the next 4 weeks. And so he's back now. But in his absence, Javen Gordon, true freshman running back, is really elevated and kind of ascended. And what I like about this team is I think we got a lot of guys that are capable of stepping up when their numbers needed or numbers called.
Man, UTSA, man, that's a tough place to play. We know what Jeff does down there, man. He's awesome. Just initial for those that may have not had an opportunity to watch them, what they do well, things that kind of pose difficulties and problems with a coach that really kind of brings a lot to the table with that program.
Yeah, Jeff's done a great job. They won a lot of football games there. We're playing them at UTSA, which their home record has been off the charts good. They don't lose much there in the Alamo Dome. The first thing that sticks out when you watch the tape, man, they are very talented. Like watching the film and seeing other teams on tape in our league, they could easily be the number one team in our league off of ability. They got a lot of dudes. The running backs, one of the top runners in the country right now. The quarterback, McCown kid, is probably the best returning quarterback off of last year's performance in our league of what he did in the year last year in 24 to 25. So he's really good. They got several good receivers. They're athletic as heck on defense. They got great length. Man, they present real challenges. We have to play really good football to have an opportunity to win.
Man, North Alabama, I know is near and dear for you. As I kind of go through all these games and get ready for tomorrow night, including your alma mater with the game tomorrow night, man. I know it's hard for you to kind of get back in the throes of running an organization and a program, but man, I know that you have just some fond memories of your hometown in North Alabama and being up here so much growing up, and of course through your coaching career as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be the guy I am without Huntsville. It shaped me, it molded me. So many people there helped pour into my life as a young person growing up. And going back to when I played park ball for the Eagles over at Fern Bell, man, that was my football start of tackle football. It's where I fell in love with the game, to be quite honest with you. And all the way through Whitesburg Middle and Grissom High. And man, I have so many still to this day dear friends that are coaches up there. And so many people that away from the game of football have helped me become the man I am. And man, that place gave me more than I could ever have asked or thought a hometown would. I get texts and calls and everything from people all the time there. Probably don't respond nearly as quickly as I should sometimes because my phone, some days I put it down, I look up and it's like, how did I get 200 text messages in a couple hours? But man, it's a special place. It's grown. That's what the times I'm able to get back, what blows me away is I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not the Huntsville I grew up in. It's like, it's a popping, booming place. And to see the growth there has been cool. But very, very grateful for the people there and what that place did for me.
I'll leave you with this one, man. Look, we're in this media business, man, and you don't have to focus on the main thing, keeping the main thing the main thing. We make a lullaby about what's going on in the landscape of college football with the coaching cycle and whatnot. I always ask this to all coaches, whether it's how many wins you got, how many losses you got, what's happening in the world of the landscape of college football. How do you and have you always able to, much like every other freaking coach in America, been able to kind of just keep the main thing, and worry about Tulane green wave of football in your organization?
Yeah, it's a great question. This summer, I talked to our team about no distractions, and that's for everybody in the organization. That could be for myself as the head coach, for the assistant coaches, or for the players. You know, when you win as a coach, people talk about where you should go next. When you lose as a coach, they talk about how they can get you out of there, right? Players, when you play well, they talk about where you should go next. When you're not playing well, they try to figure out like what's going wrong with this guy, and people want to talk bad about you. And so I tell our guys all the time, man, like don't allow distractions to creep in. Like be where your feet are, be focused in the moment. Man, I love where I'm at. I love what I do. I love who I get to do it with. I feel very blessed and fortunate to be at such a awesome school in a great city, at a place my family loves. And, you know, the coaching landscape, um, it's inevitable. People always bring it up. Man, I think about it so little. Like, I honestly, just like I tell our players, everybody gets to the end of the year, players, coaches, everybody alike. And you may look up and go, all right, catch your breath. Like, where are we? You know, most of the time, and I've been asked this a lot, like, if I wanted to be a Power Four head coach, I already would be because I've turned down some of those opportunities. If the decision about taking a job was only about money, I wouldn't be the head coach at Tulane. Plenty of people have offered me more money than what Tulane pays me to be their head coach at other places. Um, and so, man, I'm very content. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed to get to do what I do. I tell our players all the time, am I going to die coaching at Tulane or be the head coach here in 25 years? I can't tell you that. But I do know this, man. I love what I'm doing. I love where I'm doing it. I love who I'm doing it with.
Well, Coach, look, I truly appreciate you taking some time. I know it's busy, man. Taking a little time with me, man. You know how I feel about you. You're a hell of a coach. You're a hell of a man. That's the most important part. You're a hell of a man. But appreciate you taking some time with us, man. Look, get ready and good luck. Enjoy the rest of this bye week if you can, and get ready for UTSA. And good luck and best wishes down the road in the American.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Have a good one, Carl.